I've been dreaming of going to Kauai for as long as I can remember. But sometimes peace of mind is worth more than a great adventure. I recently had a trip planned, and a lot of things changed very last minute. But when it comes to big changes, sometimes it's best to pause and slow down and ask yourself if something is really worth doing. There's no need to rush or force to make something work out. And instead of trying to make things work out, just surrender to what life is presenting to you. Hello, kindred spirit. Welcome back to my channel. I was just in Paris recently, and I wanted to share some memories with you in a more casual way, just taking you along some of the sweet memories Alex and I made when we were in Paris, celebrating his 33rd birthday, some solo time that I took, the most amazing, magical Airbnb I've ever stayed at, and just kind of take you along the journey as I spent some time alone in Paris. For anyone new who is watching, hi, my name is Helena, and I'm an American living in France. My husband is an English teacher, and so we move every few years to a new place for his university jobs. Today we are going to the Dior Gallery, and I'm really excited to see this as I love design and art and beautiful things and just cherishing and appreciating beautiful designs and fabrics and seeing how people's visions are brought to life in tangible ways. And this was really an amazing exhibit. Like, if you're ever in Paris, please go see the Dior Gallery. I mean, just look at this. This is so insanely gorgeous. This dress reminds me so much of Cinderella's pink dress that she gets help from the mice. So beautiful with those bows. And oh, look how classic this is, that red. Oh, that red dress is just absolutely to die for. And all of these sketches, just such an inspiring afternoon. And what was really cool about this whole day was I got to meet a fellow YouTuber and a now friend, Janice in France. I don't know if you guys have seen her YouTube channel, but she's amazing and so much fun. One of my goals for this year is to meet more YouTubers and to meet them in person. And this is Sam Fournier. I actually met her earlier this summer in Aix, and she was so nice and so sweet, and definitely check out her channel as well. She makes beautiful videos about life in France. Personally, I'm not super into designer wear or designer brands or clothes, but there's also something really beautiful about just admiring beautiful designs and artwork and style. And remember that you never have to own something or buy something in order to appreciate its beauty. That was such an amazing exhibit, the gallery, Dior Gallery. Just beautiful works of art. Like, style and fashion is such an artistic, creative thing, and it was just so inspiring. And also meeting up with Janice. Janice is so lovely. Oh my gosh, we had the most wonderful conversation at the cafe. And for any creators out there, anyone who is a creative or on a YouTuber, it's so important to have a community and to meet other YouTubers and to make friendships with other creators, because YouTube is a beast. It's its own thing, and it can feel very isolating and very kind of like a career that's it's like we're in the Wild West, we're forging our own paths with this online thing and just connecting with other creators that are doing something similar. It's so important to just feel that support and feel that, yes, I'm going through that too. So yeah, it was really, really nice. I just adore Janice. It was so fun. Yeah, such a great day. The next day, Alex came to visit me in Paris, which was really nice. We decided to have a weekend celebrating his 33rd birthday. I took him out to lunch at an amazing Thai restaurant, and we had a photo shoot together with a photographer, and we just spent a lot of time romanticizing Paris and really soaking in all the quality time together. And Paris is one of those cities where you can be single, you can be alone, you can spend a lot of time alone and never feel lonely, never feel bored, just because there's so much inspiration all around you, things to see, galleries to visit, things to learn, people to meet. And I always feel so inspired by Paris and the energy in Paris. I feel the same way about New York, but I think Paris is way prettier and more beautiful than New York, personally.
Ooh, chestnuts, like Corsica.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Remember when we would go hiking and collect the chestnuts?
Yeah.
On our hikes?
And then we did nothing with them.
And then we did nothing. We're like, we're gonna roast them for Christmas. We never did anything.
It's so beautiful. I could just take pictures of building after building. Each one's unique and amazing.
Honestly, I feel like if I lived in Paris, I would always be spending money just because there's so many options and restaurants and vegan cafes and bookstores. And I feel like living in a small town that feels very simple, I don't spend that much money, and I mainly cook and live simply and slowly, and I personally would rather live in a small town, but it's always nice to visit. Alex and I wandered past this restaurant called Bamboo, and this was such a special place. It didn't look open when we looked through the windows, but they had a lit candle in the window, and so I noticed that they were open, and we went inside and had the most amazing birthday lunch for Alex, and it was so nice to treat him and just see his joy as he had his soup and curry.
Of all the tom kha gai soups I've ever had in my life, this is the best one. It's the perfect level of, like I said before, it's the perfect level of spicy and sweet. It has a bunch of mushrooms and the herbs are just right. They didn't add too many onions and like lemongrass and stuff that they often ruins a tom kha gai. It's amazing. I love it. We gotta come back.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's insane. This curry is like 100 flavors in my mouth. It's like a circus. It's like a circus party in my mouth right now. That's just...
Bamboo is definitely on my list of favorite restaurants in Paris, and if you like Thai food, I highly recommend visiting. Ooh, that curry was so insanely good. What's really cool about this place, though, is they had this secret door down by the restrooms, and Alex and I went down to explore, and we found this really cool lounge. Like, how cool is this? All these cool lamps and paintings and pictures, and oh, that artwork is just so gorgeous. And we ended up exploring all the rooms, and it felt kind of bad because we weren't supposed to be in there, I don't think, but it was really fun just to kind of see all of the artwork. And then I went to the restroom and check out these faucets. How cool are these faucets? They're like gorgeous stone carvings with lions in them. I was just having a ball. This was the coolest sink I've ever used. By far, one of the coolest restaurants I've ever been to, and the design and decor was just awesome.
It goes all the way across the street. That's so funny. You gotta laugh at it. It's funny.
After his birthday lunch, we ended up exploring the city a bit, and it was really cool because I found some stickers on the sidewalk, on the street, just right there in front of me, and I thought these were so cool. Look at the hot air balloons and the rainbows. Alex and I ended up staying in an Airbnb in Vélizy, which is a small little town right outside of Paris on the RER line. And this is the town where actually Alex grew up as a kid. He grew up here. This is his hometown. So we ended up celebrating at the Airbnb. I got some hats and some decorations. I love to do this every year for him. Put up streamers and balloons and confetti, and I got him a little pin that says "It's my day." He loves wearing those on his birthday every year, and it was really fun to celebrate another year of life with him.
This is where you grew up, Alex.
Yep.
This is your childhood.
and we walked over through the woods and the forest in Valisi to actually see his neighbors. We met up with his neighbors, who are really lovely. It was always such a lovely, lovely time seeing them. And we walked through the forest where Alex used to ride his bike as a kid all the time growing up. And it was really special to kind of soak in those memories, make some new memories together as an adult. And I was just amazed at how different this is from the city center of Paris. Like, this is literally a 30-minute train ride away and just completely isolated in nature. Oh, look how pretty that light is on the bark. Oh, I love that. It's really magical.
This was not here before.
So this was your old house that you grew up in?
House, yeah.
This one?
Yeah, I think it was that house.
And this is 20? This was the one?
Yeah, but
wow.
Oh my god, they completely redid the door.
Do you guys see how there are these huge fences and like barriers in front of all these suburban houses? This is what's typical in France, especially in the France suburbs. A lot of French people like privacy.
Friend's house. We spent the night here. They used to be the mayors of the town.
Oh, cool. And this was you? Did you grow up in that bedroom?
I think it was that one, yeah. There's an old bed up there. We had a cat here too.
Oh, I'm so obsessed with small towns and small towns outside of big French cities. Just so beautiful. We ended up going to his old neighbor's house and meeting her cat, which, oh my gosh, Alex and I are obsessed with cats. We're big cat people. We regularly spend time watching cat videos on the internet and just meeting this little cutie pie. I mean, seriously, the only thing I need in my life is a cat. Like, just the last piece of the puzzle, really. After dinner, we ended up heading back to our Airbnb, and Alex had to go home to start up work at the university. But I ended up going back into the city and getting an Airbnb for one more night because some of my plans changed, and I'm actually going to share with you guys in this video kind of the plans going forward and what changed in terms of my travel plans. But got back into the schedule, got back into the swing of things. I went back to dynamo cycling, which has been my go-to daily thing while here in Paris. I have been loving cycling, which is weird because I usually don't like high-intensity workouts, but it's very low impact. I never thought I would be the type of person to go to a cycling class, to be honest. I grew up a dancer, and so I love dancing, but cycling has never appealed to me. That was until Caleb. Caleb is such a light worker and really just made the whole class experience so magical and fun, and it's really like choreography on bikes, which is super cool. After class, I ended up checking into my Airbnb, and this Airbnb is Parisian. I have never stayed in an Airbnb like this in Paris, and I'm so excited to share it with you. This looks like something straight out of Emily in Paris or Marvelous Miss Maisel, if you've ever seen that show. Look at that beautiful red carpet. Oh, and that key. Look at that key. It was such a joy turning that key. I just took the most amazing bubble bath. It was so rejuvenating. After walking so many miles this last week, Versailles yesterday, cycling every day, it's so nice. Just take an hour bubble bath, so good. I really wanted to share this Airbnb with you because it's so gorgeous. It's typically 700 euros a night, but I got it for 255 because I booked it last minute, and it's only for one night. I'm also splitting it with a friend. I have a friend who's coming to stay a night with me, and so we're gonna split the cost as well. So it's just like, what? We just lucked out with the Airbnb today. You may have remembered from my last vlog that Airbnbs are just so ridiculously expensive. It's very rare to find something like this that's like, this is usually 700 euros. Like, that's like the norm for Airbnbs in Paris, but sometimes if you wait to the last minute, you may get lucky, which I got lucky this time. I just want to share with you guys these crown moldings. Like, just look at this, look at how pretty this is. Oh, I'm obsessed with this. And then you can come up. Super cool. Just a full view. So I wanted to give you guys a little life update because some things have changed since we had our last little sit down chat here on YouTube, little chatty video. So I was supposed to go to Kauai. I was supposed to actually be flying out to Hawaii right now, to California, and then to switch over my layover and then continue on to Kauai for this creative artist retreat that I signed up for. I've never done a retreat before, but one of my goals for the next year, which I talked about in my previous video, was I really want to be part of like an in-person community, and not online, but like in person, because that is something that I really don't have in my life right now, is having like a group community, helping, supporting one another, people coming together in person, specifically like artists, like creative people that are writers or filmmakers or painters or like potters, like anyone who like makes things and they're artists, and right. And I really want that in my life, and it's something I'm really calling in, and I'm kind of asking the universe to send me, because it's like I have an amazing job. My career is going really well as an astrologer. I'm doing so well financially, doing one-on-one clients right now, working with clients, coaching clients. That's kind of like my bread and butter right now. And then creatively, I feel very fulfilled doing YouTube. And then my marriage is amazing, and I have amazing best friends. I have just wonderful like best friends that I can like rely on and talk to. There is this influencer that I've been following for the last year, and she makes really gorgeous YouTube videos, and she was hosting this retreat, and she's done them before. She's a huge following. She's like 200,000 subscribers on YouTube and like 250,000 followers on Instagram. So I was like, oh wow, like I'll be lucky if I can get invited to this retreat, because she's only taking 8 people for this this creative retreat in Kauai. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like the dream. This is the dream opportunity. I get to hang out with her. I'll get to hang out with her followers who are probably very much like me and similar to me, kindred spirits, and I could meet them and we can all connect and hang out in Kauai. And I thought, oh my God, that would be so much fun. Basically, I was invited. I was really surprised, because I was like, wow, what are the chances that of all of her followers, I would be the one to get accepted to this? I paid for it in full early on, like right away in July when I got invited. I paid for it, and I was like, I'm doing this. And I feel like when you put money down and you book the flights and you book the accommodation and you book all these things, it's kind of like you're telling the universe, I'm doing this. Like there's no way I'm getting out of this. Like once you put the money down, you're going. It's done. Now it's just a matter of getting on the flight, right? Well, last week, she gives me a call, the girl that's doing the retreat, and she tells me that I'm the only person that signed up. What I'm looking for is a group, a community. And so I told her that, and she very kindly refunded me. But basically, what that meant was the entire trip was basically canceled. So I kept my flight to LA. I canceled the trip to Hawaii, the retreat, the Airbnb, the flight. And I was like, okay, well, at least I'm gonna go to LA. I'll go to LA because I have the flight. And then I was walking around Paris yesterday, and I got a text on my phone saying that my flight was canceled, because apparently in France there are these airline traffic controller strikes, and they just decided we are striking on Friday, so all flights are canceled from Paris. And of course there are no other flights because strikes. And I was just like, I knew when I got the text. I was like, this isn't gonna work, is it? It's not gonna work. And I tried to effort and force and find any possible solution. I looked at a million flights. It wasn't gonna work. I would either have to buy another $2,000 flight one way to go to LA, or I would have to wait 4 days for the airline to put me on the next flight that they could put me on. And that would have been free. But like 4 extra days, it's 4 Airbnbs I would have had to pay for in Paris, and then I would lose my other Airbnb for 4 days in LA. And it's just like, it wasn't working. Like nothing was working out. And I share this story because this was such a big lesson for me on my slow living path, my slow living journey of like learning not to rush things. Like if things are not working out and like there's just obstacle and roadblock and block after block, and nothing seems to be like flowing. Like nothing seems to be easy in the slightest. And this is a trip, right? This isn't like a goal or a challenge. Like this is just a vacation, right? If nothing's working out and the whole original plan, the reason to go is not, there anymore, sometimes you just have to give up and go home. And this was such a big lesson for me in surrender, and stop jumping so quickly to book the next thing, to get on the next flight, to book the next Airbnb. Like slow down, Helena. Slow down and really think about what it is you need to do and what you want to do and what does your body want you to do and what's your heart asking you to do. What's crazy about this whole thing is that in August, early August, this was after I booked all the flights. It was after I booked the retreat, after I put all the money down. I told my husband, I told Alex, I said, I don't know why. I don't know why I feel this way, but in my gut, I have this weird feeling like this trip isn't gonna happen. Like the retreat's not gonna happen. Like for some reason, I'm not gonna get to Hawaii. I don't know why. There's no logic to explain this. There's nothing that could go wrong. Like I'm in, I just put all this money down, like I'm going. I just have a feeling like it's not gonna happen for some reason, and I don't know why. I just think that's crazy. Isn't that crazy? How sometimes our body knows first and our mind doesn't know, and like we could try to wrap our heads around it or trying to like make sense of it or try to understand it, but it's like sometimes our body just knows things before we know. And my body knew, my gut knew a month and a half ago. I just think that's wild. So anyway, I just wanted to catch you up to speed. So if you see in the next few videos coming up, I'm not in Kauai like I wanted to be, or I'm not making these creative, beautiful, artistic films that I wanted to make in Hawaii, it is because I am not going. And I'm staying in France, and I'm staying in this really cool Airbnb for one night before taking the train home to Alex and setting up and settling down in our cute little beachside apartment that we have close to Biarritz. And I'm really excited to take you guys along the journey and show you our town by the ocean. We're like a few minutes walk from the ocean. It's so cool. And yeah, I'm just excited to show you guys this next chapter. I'm calling this, season 3 of my channel, and I'm really, really excited to take you guys along the journey. So yeah, let's continue on with the vlog. When my friend Danique arrived at the Airbnb, we went into the city to Le Comptoir, which is one of my favorite little French restaurants. It's such a hidden gem. It has some of the best French food. I got some eggplant parmesan. It was so good. After dinner, we went out to a bar, and of course, as I don't drink, I got hot cocoa. And it was really, really wonderful. We had such deep talks about spirituality and consciousness and other dimensions, and it was such a magical, magical conversation. Look at this decoration. It's just so beautiful, that tile work. The next morning, I woke up kind of late, but still early enough that I could take a bubble bath before checking out of the Airbnb, and I was just in awe of this ceiling, these crown moldings. I literally couldn't get out of bed and stop looking at it. I just spent so much time staring up at the ceiling. I feel like if I had ceilings like these, I would never get up off the floor. Just gorgeous. And I ended up packing my stuff and leaving, and this was the end. This was the end of my solo time in Paris, and I really needed this. I really needed some time to be alone and to be creative and to gather inspiration. As an introvert, I love my alone time, and I really treasure and honor my alone time, even though I'm in a wonderful marriage and I love my partner. But for those of you who are fellow introverts, it's really important to take time to get creatively re-inspired, to get rejuvenated by spending a nice vacation alone. And I hope that this video inspires you to slow down, to pause, and to honor your energy, honor the things that bring you joy, and go after them with gumption. I'm sending you so much love and a big hug, and I hope you have a magical day, and I'll see you next time here on the channel.